For the last 50 years, these famous four chimneys have towered over the London skyline, and for the last three, the urban adventure that takes place here at Battersea Power Station has called men and women to the capital to take place in a race that tests every muscle. Welcome to the men's health survival of the fittest, powered by Volkswagen Amorak. Every 15 minutes from 9 AM to 7:30 tonight, waves of 350 people will set out on this epic course. All in all, nearly 15,000 people will take on the 20 obstacle zones, the mud and the mayhem. And at the end of the day, quite possibly end up here in the beer tent. It's going to be cold, wet and wild out here, but from the warmth of his commentary box, Rob Walker will be on hand to talk us through the whole lot. So, without further ado, let's get straight over to him and find out a little bit more about this Battersea adventure.
Thanks very much, Dean. Well, this is an obstacle course with a difference, around 10 kilometres, and the emphasis is very much on fun and fitness. This is one of London's biggest mass participation events, and there could barely be a more iconic setting than Battersea Power Station. A couple of obstacle zones to be negotiated before they go under the railway bridge into Battersea Park. They flirt briefly with the steeplechase on the athletics track before they begin snaking their way back under the bridge, and a lot of obstacles to come in the last couple of kilometres. They'll be climbing, crawling and negotiating some fairly large amounts of mud and water as well before getting towards the finish. It's a real all-round test, this one. Core strength comes into play, whatever speed the course is completed in. Some interesting warm-ups happening here by the power station. Coffee for some, jelly babies. And there's something a little bit stronger than coffee for one or two. Not necessarily recommended for everyone, but certainly put a smile on a few faces. Quite a fresh morning. There's Flash, no sign of Gordon though. I wonder how gold those shorts will be towards the end. This is the climax of 5 editions of the Survival of the Fittest: Cardiff, Manchester, Nottingham and Edinburgh, before finishing here in style in the capital.
Not long before you race, I would imagine you'd be doing high knees, heel flicks, bit of warming up. You've been standing there with a coffee, laughing all day.
Yeah, there's a training over there in a bit, so we will be.
Oh, you're relying on other people to get you sorted. Done much training?
No, not really. I've done other stuff throughout the year, but not in the last 2 weeks.
Well, plenty of colourful characters here, and they all look like they're in the mood for a great day.
So, Tim, the Mario costume is quite common, I'll say, but mostly they have the moustaches on the right way round. What's happening?
Well, this Mario costume's been through about 4 or 5 obstacle races. I think
It looks like it, to be honest. Look.
it's got 1 obstacle race left in it this year, so I've been doing races for charity early in the year. This one's just for fun.
Well, it's not just Super Mario getting in the mood. There are plenty of teams, plenty of groups of friends here to get each other round in one piece.
Have you done the men's health survival of the fittest before?
Nope.
So you've not experienced the wall of fame, you've not experienced the obstacles, you've not experienced the torture, the pain, the coldness.
Not really. I used to be in the army, so I reckon I can just about cope with it.
You're hard as nails, aren't you?
Yeah.
I can't face you, can I?
So they're just beginning to get themselves in position for the first of 38 waves to go throughout the day and the evening. And 1 or 2 of these competitors are today completing what is commonly known as the full Monty, having taken part in all 5 of the Survival of the Fittest events.
I think it's just a challenge. I love the challenge. It's different again. Running's running, but this is running with some extra added to it. It's absolutely amazing. And each one pushes you just back a little bit further than the last one.
Well, a fairly rigorous warm-up, being very much enjoyed by some. And if this year's race is half as good as last year's, well, we're in for a treat. Jonathan Alban was the man who won. Ross McDonald in the black was in hot pursuit. But Alban was so quick over the obstacles. The cars will be a feature on the course once again this year. But Alban was unmatched and is going for a win again here this year.
Well, I'm quite a quick runner, but I'm not too bad over the obstacles as well. I think that's where Ross really lost out to me last year as well. So
You were saying there's a few quick guys in here this year as well. Does that worry you?
I think so. I think this year there'll be quite a few guys that have turned up. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, McDonald definitely wants to close the gap this time round. A very good triathlete. He'll need all the stamina he can find.
Almost annoying, I can't get the win, but I'm mates with all the others now, and it'll come one day.
Well, do you know what? There isn't another day other than today for the men's health survival of the fittest here in London, and you can't buy that fire in your belly. Tell us how much it'd mean to win it today.
It'd be good to finish off the last one at Battersea with a win. I'll do my best, but I know there's some really fast boys here today, so we'll see how it goes.
We've got a great lineup in Wave 1. The competition should be brutal, and even Usain Bolt might have to put his foot down to win the race to the first obstacle. Let's get straight over to Rob Walker for the start.
Some seriously fired up competitors here. It's not just McDonald and Albon. A full day and night of action, and it's underway here. Dean Macy was right. No one's hanging around at that first obstacle. There's Jonathan Proctor on the inside, who's completing the full set. In second place, just ahead of him, 4.543's Adam Kelly. Cracking pace being set by him. He looks more like a rugby player than a runner. Big barrelling shoulders, glances over and sees the rest of the field coming. That's Dr. Roger Reed in second place, 5.397. Taller than the leader Kelly. Both of them really going for it. Meanwhile, some of the rest of the opening wave just taking a little more time over the first of the obstacle zones. There are 20 in all. Core strength required and a sense of humour as well, especially when they get towards the latter stages and the mud and the freezing water start flying. Meanwhile, speaking of flying, Dr. Roger Reed is leading, but Albon, last year's champion, is coming. And just look at the speed with which he goes through those obstacles. It's almost as if they're not there. In the space of a couple of seconds, he's got some daylight between himself and Reed. He spends a lot of time rock climbing, Jonathan Albon, and you can tell that that core strength really comes into its own on this course. McDonald's just gone through shot. He was second last year. But without a doubt, it's Albon setting the pace at this stage. Doesn't matter how you get over, as long as you do. Some great costumes being used this year. It's being done in such a great spirit here. Meanwhile, once again back with the leaders. It's deja vu from 12 months ago. It's McDonald in the red vest, trying to keep up with Jonathan Albon. McDonald, a good triathlete and a good runner, but this is about the obstacles as much as it is pace and stamina. Oh, and McDonald's almost forgotten to do the monkey bars there. Little wry smile as Albon just lumbers his way across. Great flexibility in core strength. Quick glance at his watch. He knows that McDonald is there, but crucially he also knows that he is quicker over the obstacles. Well, these mini hurdles are harder than they look, but once again Albon is skipping on effortlessly. Back down the course, the first of 38 waves throughout the day and the evening. It's a lovely crisp morning here at the power station. They've got to keep moving on those monkey bars. The more you stop, the harder it is. A great way to work on your all-round fitness. Quite a few people competing as a group of friends or in a team, but not Albon. He's flying solo at the front. Once again, just as he did 12 months ago, making very light work of the cars. And the gap is opening a bit. You have to feel a little sorry for Ross McDonald. He is a really good competitor, but Albon, as once again he checks his watch and accelerates up that incline, he's moving ahead of the rest of the field. And there are still thousands yet to tackle this Battersea course, including a certain Elliot Gleave, who will be better known to rap fans as the star performer Example. All sorts of people attracted to one of London's most famous landmarks for a truly unique challenge.
After 10,000 metres of lunging, leaping, crawling and climbing, every one of our competitors will have to climb this, the Men's Health Wall of Fame, if they want to wear the T-shirt at the end of the day with pride. Every one of them will do it, for sure, but they'll need every bit of determination and every bit of support to do so. Join us after the break for the rest of the action. Welcome back to Battersea Power Station for the Men's Health Survival of the Fittest, powered by Volkswagen Amorak. Almost 15,000 competitors are facing an all-terrain, all-body workout here in the heart of the urban jungle. It's fast, it's furious, and quite frankly, it's a little brutal. And Rob Walker's here to talk you through it.
Yes, a great day in prospect and in progress here surrounding Battersea Power Station. Jonathan Alban, the defending champion, still got this under control, unlike one or two others who may not have the same grace as Alban, but they're certainly doing it in style, in costume, and with plenty of smiles as well. 38 waves in all throughout a whole day and night of action, around 350 go in each start, and no sooner has one begun than the next in line begin putting themselves through the warm-up to make sure they're ready for an all-body workout.
You know, I'm not pulling rancour or anything, but I was a professional athlete for 10 years and I wondered where I went wrong, and having a giant great foot-long hot dog before a race is obviously where it was.
You've got to have a little bit of fuel to get you around. This just helps me.
Mate, that is not a little bit of fuel, I'll tell you. Tell us a little bit about the Orange and what you're expecting. You're obviously going to run as a group.
Yeah, we're from DNA Boot Camp in Maxtane, Colchester in Essex. We did Manchester last week, so we're here again today in London to do it again and see if we can improve our times.
And how much preparation have you been doing?
Lots. You can see we're lean, mean machines. So,
are you here for fun or are you here to push yourselves to the limit?
To push ourselves and have fun at the same time. You've got to do both.
Well, this is the last instalment in a 5-event series that's taken place in Cardiff, Manchester, Nottingham and Edinburgh before arriving here in the sunshine of the capital.
So, Ace, well, I don't really know what to say, mate. Tell me what's happening.
I dressed in the most appropriate way, what?
Really? Well, I thought I did too.
This is a charity stunt. The guys at work raised over £1,000, so they got to choose my outfit. I'm
short straw, really.
Short straw. And one of the sort of forfeits on the way was I had to dye my hair ginger, so ginger spice was obviously what they went for.
Well, a tribute act to Jerry Halliwell, but here's Elliot Gleave, a star in his own right, better known as Example. A good runner, and it's brilliant to see the rap star here taking part in what should be a memorable 10K.
Yeah, I mean, I've run half marathons and I go to the gym and do circuit training quite a lot.
So 10K shouldn't be too much of an issue, but have you taken into consideration all of the obstacles as well?
I've had a look. I mean, I'm not like daunted by it. I mean, my best 10K time's around 40 minutes. So I think if I can do it in like 47, 48, most people seem to add about 6-7 minutes for the obstacles. So if I can get that, I'll be happy. But I'm not going crazy because I've got to go and bounce around on stage for 90 minutes afterwards.
Well, Example with a solid 10K PB, and he's never been afraid of the highest heights. There are quite a few ups and downs to be negotiated before he gets to the finish. Back with our leader, Jonathan Alban. He's never been afraid of the wildest fights either. And this is a battle he's winning against second place Ross McDonald at the moment. And now the hosing. Well, if he wasn't wet before, he is now. McDonald's doing everything he can to launch himself at the closing stages of this course. But at the moment, it is the defending champion who's got this very much under control. Ross McDonald could be heading for a second successive runner-up spot. Here's David Bartlett, another decent triathlete. He's in third at the moment. And here's Roger Reed. He was right up with the leaders in the early stages, just having to stop to tie his shoelace, but he's still smiling. He's in fourth. Meanwhile, many more further back down the course are heading into Battersea Park towards the halfway point, with a slight change of tone and architecture. Well, a slightly different Sunday morning routine for some. Meanwhile, the masses are getting to grips with the track and the steeplechase barrier. Some are not quite as adept at this as the likes of Ezekiel Kemboy and Venceslas Kipruto, but they're certainly taking it in good spirits. Well, you have to work hard to get a complete soaking in the water jump or get a helping hand. That's brutal. I think he'll have to be buying her a drink at the finish, but at least she's still smiling. Here's Jonathan Alban. No room for smiles for him at this stage. Serious business of a second successive title. Just the Men's Health Wall of Fame separates him from a second consecutive victory. And as he's been all the way through, so quick and so strong over those obstacles, even the cameraman was struggling to keep up with him. Oh, that's job done for Jonathan Alban, and he's done it in style.
So, John, tough race. We could clearly see that, but you run away with it in the end.
Oh yeah, it was all good. Yeah, I was panting halfway through, but yeah, it was great fun.
Little word on Ross. Ross has come second and third in this, I think 3 times now, and you know your heart has to go out for him, but you ain't going to give it up, are you? I mean, this is probably the title out of all the Men's Health Survival Fittest you've won. This is the most important, must be.
Yeah, I reckon so, but I mean, his time will come.
Well, there's absolutely no disgrace in second place for Ross McDonald. Another good effort from the triathlete. And he's beaten David Bartlett in blue into third.
Oh, second again. Yeah. What can I say?
Well, what can you say? I mean, John's just got your number at the moment, but every single time you set foot on that line, you must have more fire in your belly than anyone else.
Yeah, I'm going to get him at some point, and then I will retire once I've got him. But it's a really good rivalry to have, and I'm sure going forward.
Roger Reed in fourth place, and the leading female from Wave 1 is model Christine Hartigan. Racy finish from her. So, the first female from the opening wave, and the first men are home. 1 or 2 others back down the course may need a helping hand or a second go at some of the obstacles. These barrels are empty, but I'm sure the pumps will be full for these competitors when they get towards the finish and enjoy a well-earned pint. All the way through this course, it is being done in a great spirit. And the only disadvantage about being slightly further down the field is that the mud gets a little stickier. But it all adds to the flavour of this great race here in the surrounds of the Battersea Power Station. Well, here's Elliot Gleave, and he's living up to his name because he is setting a great example to the rest of the competitors, grinding it out, but doing so with a smile on his face. The water's quite bracing for some, but the sooner they get in, the sooner they can get out. That's one way to enter the water.
Yes! Because I'm having fun! A survival of the fittest! Yes!
Oh, Corey Walton-Malcolm definitely wins the award for the most enthusiastic competitor, but there are some tired legs out there. Well, there's one man who will not be popular on this course, and it's the temporary fireman. He is soaking everybody. Well, at least it's one way of cleaning off the mud. You get the feeling, the more they scream, the more he enjoys it. Little refreshment there for the ginger spice lookalike, and this is the way to take on the hose with a sense of humour. Well, after the soaking, they begin contemplating the last big challenge before the finish line. It's the Men's Health Wall of Fame. One barrier, but it's 8 feet high. It's a moment that requires big guns, a helping hand, and a lot of determination. It's a great way to finish, and another shining example of how important the teamwork is in this event. Down the other side of the wall, it's just a few metres before the safety and the celebration of the finish line. Here's example, finishing the course off very coolly, as you would expect from such an established star. His time will be around about 50 minutes, which is good going for a 10k course that includes 20 obstacle zones.
You flew off the mark, mate.
Yeah, I feel it was a good pace, man. Like I said, you know, my best 10Ks are around 38, 39, so I'm happy with that.
And still they pour over the finish line. The hugs, the high fives, and some great celebrations. And the bigger the team finishing, the bigger the party in prospect.
We absolutely loved it. It was brilliant. We've had so much fun training for it, doing it. The crowd have been fantastic. It's just been an awesome, awesome day.
Guys, give us an example of just how enjoyable this race was.
Yeah, it was awesome. I wish I could do it again tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, the very first time, I didn't know what to expect, but it was much more. It was amazing.
Awesome event. Superb. Do another one?
Yes, definitely.
It was amazing. It was amazing. It's such a thrill. And it's my birthday tomorrow, so I do it as a present for myself.
Well, this group said they needed to keep moving earlier on in the course. I'm glad to see they're milking their moments.
Was this your first experience of men's health survival of the fittest?
Yeah.
Come again?
Possibly.
Well, after the effort comes the reward, and there are quite a few heading into the beer tent for some refreshments, whilst the entertainment is continuing to be provided by the rest of the willing competitors. It's a chance for everyone to make a note of their time and have that all-important finisher's photo. Speaking of times, Jonathan Alban, the winner, 33.40, and Catherine Alexander turned out to be the fastest female on the 10k course with 36.05. But the nighttime action promises to be much quicker over a 5k circuit. Short, sharp and furious. Well, Ross McDonald has clearly decided he hasn't had enough by going again. And our daytime winner, Jonathan Alban, also deciding to go nocturnal. Well, it may be darker, but the energy and the enthusiasm just keeps going.
With our night events well underway, our competitors will be racing and celebrating long into the evening. There's been mud, sweat and quite possibly a few tears, but everyone has had a day and a night to remember. So from all of us here at Battersea, it's goodbye and we'll see you back in London next year.